Hello, everybody. Welcome back to What Your Favorite Sonaria Creature Says About You, Tier 3 Edition. Before we begin, I did want to just mention something. So, I in writing this script, went a little bit away from what it says about you. So some of them I'm just, describing the creature in, in a certain way, depending on, the gameplay of it. But, you're playing as a creature. So I'm describing you through the branch of you through the creature. It's not completely sane, but again, I'm not completely sane, so just gonna have to bear with me here. This video's for comedic reasons, and there's a lot of comedic in this, I hope. At least I think so. And though I've been told I have a horrible sense of humor, I don't care. So, let's get into it with this slop. Arius. No one likes you. You never needed to exist. You never, there is no point to you even existing. Also, Sonar Studios, please lighten up with the requirements for content creators getting this. Come on now. Lighten up a bit. ASO. Yay for the very pale Pride Month salamander. Aholi. It says in the description that it contains a deadly toxin, but all it really contains is 2 defensive necropoison. Alifu. This red panda has more base damage than Apophex, the toxin-spitting volcano lizard. It's pretty menacing for about 8 seconds, or less than 8 seconds, and then you see Healer, Burrower, Escape Area. It's not. It's menacing for a couple seconds, at most. Amolus. This guy is the most random combo of creatures, ever. Not creatures, it's traits and stats. Defensive Frostbite of 1.5 and defensive Burn of 1. Why? What? It makes no sense whatsoever. Apophex. 3 defensive disease, 1 defensive radiation, 3 defensive poison, 3.5 defensive corrosion. Archinax. A 500 damage on a tier 5 is utterly absurd. And B, this guy deals no bleed. I think that getting stabbed with one of these giant curved sickle claws would cause me to bleed a little bit. Don't you? Articock. You will starve to death and lose all of your stamina after biting this puffin for about, 8 seconds. Why do I keep saying 8 seconds? Acelioris. You like butchering the agental creature description by shredding birds like a buzzsaw. Bolatra. This creature description is so disgusting and terrifying that nobody plays as this. So if this is your main, you don't exist. I'm just gonna read the description for a second. Bolatras are colonial parasitic creatures who inhabit dark and damp places. The black tar-like sludge on their bodies carries their spores and is highly infectious. If a creature comes into contact with these spores, it becomes zombie-like and lethargic, and new Bolatras start slowly sprouting out of its body. Why isn't that a gameplay feature? Boo-con. Can you explain 1.2 Wing Shredder? What? What does that even mean? Why, Sonar? Why? Senakara. Big fire-antlered moose that deals 4 bleed, but only 2 burn. It's literally a giant flaming antlered moose. Chizudo. This is a big mechanical bird that can be one-shot by the basically invincible duck I mentioned in the last video. Fugu's cursed. Chrysos. You are a Sonaria creature. You came here for cool creatures, or you like wolves but hate a Koran. Citralantis. Honestly, which is the original? Citralantis or Alohi? Like, what? What are we... Sonar, what are we doing here? They even have the same texturing. What is happening? Cloviliper. I was under the... What? I was under the impression that this thing used to have Earthquake, but anyway. I have nothing bad to say about Clovey. He's great. He's so cute, too. Except when you look at his teeth. Those are kind of scary. Corsarlet. Bro has a water breath, but he's a semi-aquatic, so he can't use it in his best environment. Explain, please. Cooper. Tier 3 that's based off a pancake, has 7,000 health, and weighs 4,000 pounds. I don't think a pancake creature would have that much health, and it definitely wouldn't weigh that much. Dabimura. Why would you buy this with your Warden artifacts? Demetira. You like only recognizable magical creatures, like a flowery moo cow. Dragonic Sauria. Sounds scary, is not. Dunkleastus. Rawr, it's a Dunkleosteus with legs. Delatura. Butterfly sheep dragons, attack! Escarlar. Zoom out. You think that a Royal Guard-based creature with blades in its hands would do more than 275 damage, but again, it does have Reflect, so all bets are off. Feikalu. This creature is just an insult to praying mantises. It can't kill to save its life. It's literally just a wannabe Konomushi, and it's failing at being a wannabe Konomushi. This creature has no point. Theriocris. The description says creatures sometimes mistake them for butterflies. The only thing I have ever mistaken these things for is a threat. Like... Alright. Flurin. Not too bad considering there aren't many good photovores besides the obvious. Hygos. Frigilinx. Timid? Yeah. The absolute army of fire creatures we have in the game definitely outnumbers the small club of ice creatures. Ice versus fire and cost would end very badly for Frosty the Frigilinx. I can see why they're very timid. Fireneedly. This plant creature burns you. Anybody smelling any flawed logic? No? Nobody? Galostra, the Glaucus creature that got overshadowed by Glovacus instantly. Galarin. Everyone either loves this guy or hates him. Garo Warden. All hail the god of death, the one with only 3.5 thousand HP and 10 damage unless attacked. Geogoth. Bro is made of rocks, has unbreakable, and coughs up rocks to use as weapons, but still gets 3-shot by an Akoran. What is the logic of the Flower Cove Massacre, bro? By the way, I need to clarify that. The Flower Cove Massacre was... I was playing as a single adult Akoran. Adult, no plushies, no buffs, no traits, anything. And I killed 8 adult tier 3s and a baby Caldon Terrace. It was the height of my PvP. It was like the peak of my PvP career in Sonaria. It was incredible. Ghibli. This looks nothing like Totoro or anything from Spirited Away. Why is it called Ghibli? Gloracus. How is this fish horse not a semi-aquatic? Glovacus. All hail the pyromaniac sea slug. Gobatlin. Skeletal vampire bat with blue and purple fur. What is this, Tunic? Come on, guys. Not to say Tunic is bad. Tunic is amazing. Gorgonichus. They gave us a murder turkey, and for that, we are all thankful. Guiodama. Big monster hippopotamus that, even though it's a hippopotamus, isn't a semi-aquatic. Why? Think, Sonar, think! Halaqual. This is why you don't Mega Evolve Komote, you get Haliquell. Hallucinix. This guy is a glass cannon or on more glass and more cannon pills. Hisoteri. At this point, just buy It's a Juatl or Volinorv. Both of them are better, both of them have the same theme. Hikorshi. This is either Alan's dog from Subnautica 2, no, from Subnautica Below Zero, or it's a Halo enemy. One of the two. Ikoran. God, the redesign looks awful, dude. I hate it so much. The mascot of Sonaria, and also a good, apparently very good combat creature. See the Coral Cove, what's happening to me? Flower Cove. Flower Cove Massacre. Ink Pigeon. The guardian of the realm that could get smoked by, like, a single pentagloss. You expect this to guard the realm from the shadow? No. This thing can't hold its own against, like, a single shadow creature, bro. Iridimikan. Finally, they learned how to make good prehistoric tier 3s. I thought that they permanently forgot after making Archanax. Isolon. Decent defense, decent offense, warden funding. Geojangle. You do cheap magic tricks, but make them good looking. Kamigami. Ah, you're evil. Kaminaru. Ah, you look like a teabag. Karakro. You like deceptively powerful wheat birds. Kemador. You just want to be Nullrock, but you don't have him. Karuku. Karuku. Do you want to trade me that? Because no one likes people who main as Karuku, so I'll willingly take him off your hands for you. You won't even have to have the burden anymore. Ketharal. You find it outrageous that he attacks with his teeth and not the wicked awesome folded superheated claws that are the entire subject of his description. Come on now, Sonar. Get diverse with your attack animations. Killatrua. The original shadow creature, but got instantly overshadowed. Get it? Overshadowed by every other shadow creature. Like, come on. Or most of the other shadow creatures, anyway. Not really Zoxus and Pentagloss. They're both useless, but the others are all overshadowed, this guy. Poor Killatrua. Nalraki. Honestly, pretty scary. I don't want to mess with a Nalraki played by someone who knows how to use Nalraki. Goipus. Probably the first aquatic you got. So you're pretty new at the game, or you're just trying to get Alacuda. Chorusor. Mess with this guy and you get the spike. Lenarabu. You don't have Verdant Warden, so you had to settle for this. Laramires. The maid of the castle. You clean things a lot. Liscus. Honestly, you have good taste in your semis. It's nothing flashy, but it ends prey really quickly. Lonix. It seems like it was meant to be a healer, but at the same time, you gave it Frostbite, Lichmark, and Frost Nova, so I don't really know what's the point of this guy is. I don't know what Sonar was thinking. Malapiscus. You like packing more of a punch than seems possible with these stats. And yet you do. Moluna. The original Tier 5 reflectors. Why would you do this, Moluna? Morkinix. A menacing monster who's kind of baseline when it comes to PvP, but he's still pretty decent. Mordelium. A good survival creature, and he's super good for growing missions because he's an herbivore, a tier 3 flyer, and only takes 25 minutes to grow without satiated. Morinus. Honestly, does anybody know this exists? Because I completely forgot it exists. Muraville. This guy is just the bad version of Sanata. Like, come on now. Murlk. Very basic creature, 1 star. Do not recommend. Niendir. Not too scary with the right counters, but definitely a challenge to bring down if you're unprepared. These guys can hit hard if they want to. Noctlaloon. I think all of us have experienced a Noctilamane at least once. We all know who you people are, and most of us don't like you except if we're in the same boss fight lobby as you. In main Sonaria, none of us like you. Norse Cog. This little fella has decent stats and a beautiful aurora-colored trail that you can only see if you have the best graphics possible. Noxiauk. Less scary than it appears. Nymphosuchus. More scary than it appears. Nyxosolix. This was the prototype. Valkyrie was the final product. Oriori. This guy kind of feels like hastily put scrap together, to be honest. Like, I don't know what Sonar was, like, what Sonar's purpose meant for this guy, but he's not the best. Feels like he was hastily thrown together, you know? Like, where are his feet? Where are his feet? Ovufu. This guy is mad scary. I'm not gonna lie, I run from this thing if I'm a tier 3 or below and I see it. Because, like, these guys are strong. This guy, its existence, its whole concept is a burden to me. Parugama. Cute green alien food source. Pyre. I'm not gonna lie, I love this creature, but they need to give it some sort of jelly lance so it can actually, like, use its giant finger gun. Like, we need to get it like some sort of pie lance, and then it can shoot it from the finger gun. Like, come on now, Sonar, this is such a missed opportunity. Give it, like, I don't know, food splatter lance or something. Plumetic. They added this guy the day after I got a bunch of Robux and used it to spin the Master Gacha a bunch of times, and I almost, like, lost control and screamed out loud because I was so angry. Terralithox. This is just a flying package of bleed. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Quetzalcoatl. The plant uprising is here, and you are its herald! Until you get killed by anything with higher weight than you, which is most things. Riox. You're menacing to anything lower than a tier 1. Just think about that for a second. Riviaton. The other starter fishy. Cloipus is better! Reparin. This guy is scary for about 10 seconds, after which you will already be eating him. Ruzerin. Bucko has the stats of a tier 2. Why is this a tier 3, Sonaria? Sartius. Okay, this guy is the peak of land tier 3 predators, I'm not gonna lie. Charray. Canadian leaf bug with decent mobility. Not much else. Shizuyu, what is actually the point of your existence? What is the point of this creature? Like, someone, please enlighten me. Shro. Fungus sloth with honestly pretty decent ailment production, considering it's pretty early on in obtainment. Like, 1.5 poison attack, 2 injury attack, 2 defensive poison, toxin breath, and poison totem? Okay. That's a pretty mechanized ailment production. Silly guy. This... Health of a tier 2, the damage of a tier 1, half the weight of an adult Hygos. Its breath is a completely random ailment breath that just flails around uncontrollably when used. Yeah, this guy is most certainly a silly guy. Also, said to emerge from where too much chaos is soaked into the land. As erratic as the feelings that made it, it lives for mischief, spreading confusion and playful dissonance, then feeding on the panic, noise, and chaos that follows. This is literally the description of the good Sonarians. That's just us. Slyhorn. This absurdly tanky tier 3 is one of the few creatures to still actually have radiation. It's a relic of the past. Sleernok. A pretty bad tasting creature. I do not recommend hunting it until you can end this quick. These guys are kind of irritating. So Churi. If you didn't pick this guy as your starter, I pity you. If you did, you left the noob phase far behind very fast. Remember, we're doing subspecies. Ashen Sochuri. Sochuri, Mega Evolve, now! Sonar, come on, this is just Chien Pao. Like, it's very obvious they just copied Pokemon on this one. But this creature is actually really powerful if you know how to use them. Just like Chien Pao. So, I recommend him. Tayuelong. Tayuelong. All hail the koi fish Eastern Dragon. Couldn't really figure out anything else to say about this guy. He's pretty baseline, so I just went with my usual sentence of all hail Tarakotu, a small saber-toothed cat creature. Tinook, a small saber-tusked cat creature. Theralachus, gore on steroids if this thing was real. Fundrake, aquatic lightning wolf. Gotta catch 'em all. Tahukos. This guy is pretty good. It's definitely worth the Robux, if you're willing to pay it. Truthful Bayayeva. If you have like a plushie or a packmate that gives deep wounds, this thing is horrible. This thing is horribly powerful. Horrible. Horrible to fight. Horrible to face. Like, 4 bleed attack, and serrated teeth, and gore charge, and defensive bleed. No! Like, no! Tundrick. Wait, I skipped one. I missed one. Between Tahukos and Truthful Beva is Trikylo, but he's up here because he got a redesign. Not bad when used properly, but nobody uses him at all. I've literally never seen one of these things in an actual Sonaria, in an actual server. I've never seen one of these things ever. Tundrick. Not very good. That's pretty much all I have to say on the subject of this creature. If you main as him, get a better main. Undoli. This thing is kind of disturbing. It is an utterly horrible voodoo doll monster with, may I just point out, with the blood color very similar to humans' blood color. I don't like that at all. Urzook. At this point, the only people who are using this are people theorizing about Warden. Valkyrse. This thing... Okay, so it says here that this thing constantly needs to stay at a lower temperature. Then why does it have volcanic? If it's a fire deer that needs to be at low temperature, why can't it just waltz around in lava? Valkyrie. This is just the healer of the tier 3s. Nothing more, nothing less. Very cool looking, though. I really like this guy. Valmora. This should not be as glassy as it is. If it wasn't mad glassy, it'd be much better. But even as it is, this thing is really strong. It's not something to be messed with. Velcacao. Purely just a well-balanced all-rounder. Nothing extraordinary about this guy. Velkyra, the new guy, which I got as soon as it came out. This guy is super cool looking. Unfortunately, though, the creature's headcanon and its lore make it so much more menacing than it actually is. It's kind of bad. Like, its stats are not very good at all, unfortunately. Which sucks, because it's a really, really cool creature. Venetrox. This thing is ruthlessly strong when played by stubborn people. So, me. I'm good at playing Vena. One time I chased a tier 3 around the map for half an hour straight, and I eventually killed him. Or, tier 2, rather. Vetemortem. I think it was I think the tier 2 was one of the hedgehogs. Alright, Vetemortem. This creature got good after they, remade him completely. Yeah, the Death Wolf, literally based off the Egyptian god of the underworld, Anubis, the one with a giant horrible mouth on its tail, originally didn't have tail whip. Explain, please. Xenolith. They nerfed him to take away they nerfed him purely so they can take away radiation. But other than that, he's still really good and really scary when in a pack. Like, come on. It's got strength in numbers. Why would you do that? Xenolith. Nope. I just said Xenolith. Yamato. This guy can overload you with ailments in moments. 8 disease attack, 4 poison attack, and 1 injury attack, as well as latch. Don't mess with this thing. Do not mess with it at all. Zyrax. This guy is actually really cool. I kind of wish he was a bit better in combat, though. Because he's pretty small and nippy. Zethines. If this thing sees you before you see it, you're already dead. Zeligen. Really beautiful creature and really good for artifact farming. Not very good for combat, though. Zuku. This guy is kind of meh. I wouldn't recommend buying it if you want a good gameplay creature. I mean, he's good for growing, but, like, other than that. And last, but certainly not least, Zweevilisk. It's really cool and also insanely good if you give it double cat plushie. Because it can just sink its chompers deep into your foes. Well, that is, unfortunately, all the tier 3s for now. Actually, very fortunately, because that was 122 entries that I had to crank out, and it was difficult to do. It's difficult to do, because I've been pretty busy recently, but I was able to grind it all out, and I am pleased with the end result. So, I will see you guys in the next video I'm in. We've got some good stuff coming to you. Don't worry. And, yeah, for now, stay strong, stay happy, keep theorizing, and we will be back soon. Adios. This is Cactus, out.